girl, Ice Gem, and today we're talking about what it's like to be hospitalised with functional seizures. So I've only been hospitalised twice with suspected functional seizures. I haven't had an EEG, I haven't seen a neurologist. I'll do another video about the first time. This is about the second time. So the only reason they actually hospitalised me was despite having 40 seizures within 4 hours due to a medication called duloxetine, if I remember. Actually, let's just quickly, it's not a long subject. So they put me on an antidepressant to help with my seizures. Because instead of seeing neurology, they keep sending me to psychiatry. Because they think it's functional seizures, even though I haven't had an EEG or seen a neurologist. There's other videos about that. So I had 40 full body, drop to the floor seizures in a 4-hour period within half an hour of taking this new medication. It clearly lowered my seizure threshold. Suffice to say, I didn't take that again. The only reason they took me into the hospital is because I had a slight fever. It was during the heat wave in May, and they were like, oh, we think you've got a UTI. And I told them that I get kidney infections and stuff, and they said, you know, I've got to go. They told me somewhere to go, but I couldn't walk and I couldn't use my wheelchair and I had no way of accessing that service. So they begrudgingly took me to the hospital. They really didn't want to. One of them was really nice, but the other lady was right in a huff of me and treated me very differently after that. Let's just put it that way. Moving on. So the hospital visit, it was a varied experience. So very long time in A&E. I left probably 3-4 in the afternoon latest, maybe earlier than that. I think, yeah, I could have arrived as early as 2:30. It's hard for me to remember because I go to the hospital all the time with my seizures, which I don't anymore because they told me not to. At one point, the advice was to go at every seizure, which isn't possible for me because I have multiple seizures a day. Unmedicated, I will have 21 clusters of seizures, 3 or more a day, which racks up to hundreds a day. I am thankfully medicated at the moment. Maybe I'll touch on that. At that time, I was on a lot less lamotrigine. I think it was only 25 milligrams and 50 milligrams. I can't remember if it was morning or night. They have upped that now, and my seizures are better controlled than they were at this time. A&E was ages. It was really difficult because of my mobility problems. That's in the previous video before this one. I touched on that a bit, so I won't go over that again. Then I went into the ward at like midnight. First ward I went into was really, really good. Really good ward. Clean. It was new. Well staffed. Yeah, it was a really good ward. The doctor was really good. Then they moved me to so that was a decisions ward. Then they moved me to a general ward because there isn't wards for like seizures or anything like that. So it's one of the things, just go to general ward. And I was at general ward for 3 or 4 days. I can't remember. It all blurred into one. I was really unwell, like in and out. I was on the 0 carb diet, so there was no food I could eat in the whole hospital. They used to have jellies I could have that were 0 carbs, but they changed those now to one with fruit sugar in it. So there's literally nothing that's 0 carb. So that's a problem. That was a massive problem. I obviously couldn't eat. Not without coming off the diet, which I wasn't willing to do. Definitely not. So there was that problem. This ward was, I mean, I did a PALS complaint about this. This is NHS, by the way, in the UK. And they said it's staffed to the legal level. Now, compared to when I was in the ward 2 years before, we're talking a quarter of the nurses, 25% of staff that they used to be. But we've had a change in government in between them too, so, and clearly a change in laws. So even though I was having loads and loads of seizures, the only one that got witnessed was when another patient was like saying to the nurse she's fit. They gaslit me. They were like, oh, we've seen your seizures. But I know they didn't, because if I'd had a seizure, what they're going to do? Just nothing. And I'm going to wake up on my own out of a seizure. You know what I mean? They're thinking because I'm having seizures, I'm not remembering. They even said that to me over something else. So I was having post-concussive at that time because I hit my head a lot this year. There's a video about that. And there was this whole hoo-ha about CT scans. They started saying I had a CT scan when I went into A&E. I didn't. Then they were saying the whole time I was there, I'm going to have another CT scan, so I was waiting for that. Then the doctor came around and she said, no, you're not seeing the neurologist and you're not having a CT scan anymore. I'm just sending a psychiatrist. And she said to me, you're not having seizures. Having not witnessed them, not asked me anything, none of the staff witnessed them. Just because she say so. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, you can see why I did a formal complaint when I got home about this. Then I go, okay. If I haven't had any seizures, then I can discharge myself, can't I? Because I'd had enough by then. I'd had enough. This was like the 4th day on this ward or whatever. I mean, it's long enough to wait for a CT scan. I don't know if do you know what I mean? 4 days, I think I'm done. And then they tell me I'm not getting it. So I pack all my things up, I get ready, I think I'm going home. This is going nowhere fast. I'm already under psychiatry. You know, a consultant, I've got a consultant, so what's the point? You know what I mean? What's the point? So I was like, I don't need to see a psychiatrist. I'd literally just spoke to a psychiatrist 3 days before. That's how I got on the duloxetine. That's who prescribed me that. Suffice to say, that was another PALS complaint, so I weren't dealing with them again, because that was really dangerous, what they did. That was really dangerous, and it's known it can cause seizures, lower the seizure threshold. Because when I looked into it, it was written, you know. Anyway, so I said, oh, I'll discharge myself. Then, lo and behold, the CT scan turns up. The porter, oh, we're taking you for the CT scan. I go, okay. You know, I was told I'm not having one. Get in the wheelchairy thing that they push you. I had to leave the ward, and then a nurse is like, oh, are you going for your MRI? And I says, no, it's the CT scan. She goes, you're not having a CT scan. You've already had a CT scan. Bear in mind, they've told me 3 times I've already had a CT scan that I ain't had. Then she goes, well, you're not well. You're not remembering. You had a CT scan, you just can't remember it, she goes to me. I think I remember putting my head in a big ring of magnets. I'm unwell, but I ain't that unwell. Then she goes, it must be an MRI. And she goes, gets the paperwork. Did she go and get the paperwork? Hang on, I'm drawing a blank because I just got so angry, either at this point or just after this point. We got in an argument. I can't remember how the argument started, but it ended up with me shouting at her, fine, since I've already had a CT scan, then this CT scan's not necessary. So I'm going home. I'm going home. She brought round the discharge papers then she said, oh yeah, she mustn't have checked it. She said she will check it, I think, afterwards. The porter's like completely confused, just leaves. This story is like all over the place. You've got to bear in mind I had a lot of head injuries and I'm still recovering from post-concussive and have multiple seizures every day. Including today, I've had multiple seizures today. Clusters, so my memory is hazy. Yeah, then she comes back and she says, okay, you know, she brought the discharge papers with her very quickly. Very quickly. And she goes, you know, do you want the CT scan? I says, is it more slices? Because I did have a CT scan a few days before that when I initially hit my head really badly and nothing came up on it. And I said, is it more slices? Because if it's more slices, they might pick up something they didn't pick up before, like a fracture or a bleed. And she said, no, I don't think so. That'll be down to the radiologist, but I wouldn't have thought so. I was like, well, it's pointless, isn't it? It's pointless. Then I was, you know, I just wanted to get out of there by then. So I ended up discharging myself. Went home, still really ill. I was still so ill. Yeah, I woke up the next day after a good night's sleep, because you know it's like in hospitals, you can't sleep. Emblazoned, enraged, write a formal complaint. And they did actually call me. And they apologised about the CT thing. The nurse apologised, but that nurse actually came and apologised to me in person when she came to tell me it was a CT scan and she had the discharge papers and she gave me the choice and we had the discussion. Although Oh, actually, I won't get into that. That's enough with the complaining. Problem, so I'd already had an apology from her, but the doctor was the reason I was so worked up. Like the 3 interactions I'd had with her, you know, in the days I'd been on that ward, was winding me up. She was really bad bedside manner, didn't ask anything about me, it was just like barking orders at me, and you know, just really unprofessional. And the doctor never apologised to me. You know, when they called me up, there was no, oh, we spoke to the doctor, so they probably never spoke to her. She's probably carrying on doing that to people. But I was so glad to be home. I was so glad to be home, and the benefit of it was I learnt to walk with my foot drop while I was in there. Like I say, there's another video about the mobility side of things. But it's, I really don't want to go in the hospital again. So that was the second time. I'm going to make another video about the first time, which actually went a lot better than this time, 2 years before this. I've been quite unwell since that hospital visit. But I think I'm perking up. It's been months. I think I'm perking up. I'm going to leave it there. Anyone else had experience with the NHS like this? Been on hospitals, especially recently, or any experiences of seizures, and particularly like functional seizures, but also other seizures? I'm just interested to know, you know. Yeah, so if you got this far, if you'd like to like the video, you can click like, because if you're this far in, then you must have liked it, right? Yeah, and if you want to hear more, it's mainly health stuff at the moment on my channel. Yeah, and if you want to know more about my lived experiences, then subscribe, and don't forget to push the bell, because if you don't push it, you won't get a notification and you won't know when I've like uploaded a video. Okay, thank you for watching, and peace be with you. Bye.